GreyBeard Gaming. Good day, everyone, and welcome to the GreyBeard Gaming Podcast, where we discuss gaming industry news and how it affects us as consumers. If you would like to be a guest on the show, drop us a message at greybeardgamingcast@gmail.com. Today is a dry as a bone, but we will be talking about more remasters, Gamepass on a stick, and the fall of a Twitch giant. I am Scott, and I have with me Liam. Liam, what say you? Have you kicked your Diablo habit?
I have actually, for the time being.
Yeah?
I might have to go back and grind just to get some gear, but right now, because it's the European Championships over here, I'm playing a lot of FIFA with friends. We always enjoy that.
Yeah.
So each one of us has a player, and we all play different positions, and that's a lot of fun actually with friends. And
cool.
we watch the football as well. So yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. We do that here too. I mean, we have NFL. We have, our football.
Yeah.
Which you don't use your feet, but like a couple of times during the game. You use your hands. I don't know why it's not called handball. Anyway, cool. So yeah, you take it. When was the Vessel of Hatred? Is it? Yeah, that's it. I got it. I remembered something.
Yeah.
That comes out later this year, correct?
Yeah, October 8th.
Ooh. Yeah, it's just in time for Halloween. That's probably when I will drop back in. Do you remember when Activision sent out a little survey to people that basically, are you okay with paying $100 for
a DLC?
For DLC? Yeah, and I'm seeing that it's, I think, $40.
Which, I mean, technically speaking, there is a $100 version with all the pre-order stuff.
Yeah, and that may be what they meant. Meaning I don't know. I mean, Destiny 2 does the same thing. Even with their big drop or whatever, they have the regular version, which is usually $39 or $49, and then they have another version that is, got a bunch of crap with it.
I will say with Destiny, I can't remember now. You might have to tell me this. If I got the Super Deluxe $100 edition, does that give me the annual pass again? Because each season of other games, they give you one season. They go, here's one battle pass, but you have still to pay for the others.
Yeah, I think they did have a version that you get the next, I think 3 episodes.
Yeah,
they're calling them episodes now, right?
So I think Disney does that differently.
Yeah. Yeah, they're changing their. I think Sony has come in and put a little pressure on them to change some stuff, and of course. We might see the same thing with Diablo as far as pricing and, predatory tactics, where Microsoft, which now owns them, might come in and go, hey, don't do that. Turn that down a little bit. We don't need the bad press, believe us. So hopefully those two are getting more consumer-friendly advice from the people that hand them a paycheck now. So maybe that is.
Yeah, we can hope anyway.
You can hope, yeah. Sony's not known for their, pro-consumer tactics, but they do know how to make a fan base go away. So that's probably something that they're encouraging Bungie to stop doing, and hopefully we'll see the same thing with the Diablo. But you know how it goes. It's like a game gets great. It's like, oh man, this is great. They're just handing us stuff, and this is great, and they're not nerfing anything, and this blah blah blah. And then that
season happens,
that update comes out. Yeah, bam. It's like what? What? $65 for a horse? It just man. It's all a game of
it's like Russian roulette with PR. It's like, oh well, see what happens.
It is, yeah. It's also like carrot, steak, carrot. It's you're still chasing it, but it's just depending on what you're chasing. It's nuts. It's crazy. Well, I've been playing a new game called Wayfinder. It's not necessarily new, but I don't know if you've heard about this game. It is on Steam and I believe PlayStation 5. But this is a game by Airship Syndicate, who made Darksiders Genesis. Have you ever played a Darksiders game?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I like the first one. It's kind of like a God of War, not the God of War now, but the good God of War that, where you like killed a bunch of stuff. It's kind of like that combat and everything. But this one, the Darksiders Genesis, was like a top-down, more of like an action RPG shooter, like almost like a twin-stick shooter. And I thought it was really good. I liked it. But they made Wayfinder, and it's an MMO, and they had the publisher Digital Extreme basically just say we don't want to publish games anymore and just drop them like a rock. So they released this game. It did not get good reviews. It was very, let's say, microtransaction laden, and the progression I understand was not that great, and it just didn't land as an MMO very well. So what these guys did, they thought, well, okay, our game is dead. We don't have a publisher. I can't get a publisher. It's probably really hard to get a publisher now, especially if you've got a game on Steam that is not getting good reviews. Mm-hmm. So they decided to just publish it themselves and go back and rework the game as a single player or co-op action RPG. So they took all the MMO stuff out, all the microtransaction stuff out, and just made a game out of it. And since then, so I went to the reviews, and as of that date, when it came back last week, of, hey, this is it. We re-release it as the new Wayfinder, and it's getting great reviews on Steam. And so I picked it up, and it's fun. It's, I played several hours. It is a little confusing. You can kind of tell where they're having okay, this was an MMO and it has a lot of crap out in the world that we didn't get rid of, so we're going to tell you about all of it right now. It has so much exposition when you start out. It's just spewing like a fountain. And for me, lore is something that I like to kind of discover. Kind of like Diablo. Diablo starts out with like, oh shit, that's the bad guy. And then, okay, here's where I am in this story. Imagine if like you started Diablo 4 and then you walked 5 feet and talked to someone and they just laid out like everything that happened before that period, like Diablo 1, 2, 3, all the deals, and you're like, what? Skip. So I think it has that kind of a problem, but the aesthetics are really cool. The aesthetics are like WoW meets Borderlands. It's you have guns, swords, knives, all the usual stuff, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I recommend it. It's $24.99 on Steam right now. It's not on sale. It just kind of got relaunched, but go check out some videos of it. It looks good. I'm enjoying it. So.
Yeah, I think that's a thing now as well, because every game must try to be an MMO or games as a service, and like some developers like, let's just make a single player game or a co-op game, and don't have to have this 1,000-hour service game, because people just want to play a good game and don't have to devote their life to it.
and you can play with a friend, like if you're like, hey, got a different character, let's take care of this stuff. It really shows that on that multiplayer side or that service side, the games can fail, but that same game can also maybe thrive with taking all of it out, and we'll have to see. I'll keep an eye on this and see how it's doing, but it's hard, man. It's hard to especially like a AA studio like Airship Syndicate. They're not as well known, and this is a brand new IP. And when it landed, it was felt a little bit like Anthem, like, hey, look at all this stuff, and it's like it's all broken. So we'll see what happens. I hope these guys kind of pull it out, because they did a lot of hard work to turn this game around. And once I sink some more hours into it, I'll give an update. But I also been playing a lot of Dungeons of Eternity, and I did finish Assassin's Creed Nexus on VR. And I can honestly say, even though there are some cool aspects of playing a Assassin's Creed VR game, this is a total cash grab. It is not. this could have been so much better, so much longer. I think I finished the whole game in like 3.5 hours.
Yeah. So little experience then.
Yeah, and there are things to do in it, but they're not. They're like challenges, like hop to here through these rings and grab these things before they. It was just it. Okay, so I'm in like 1700s Rome, right? No, not 1700, like 700, Rome. All the NPCs sound American. Like, hey, how you doing? How's it going over there? Yeah, go to the temple and talk to... and there's only like 4 different types of people that like they all look basically the same. And that's okay. I mean, it was kind of impressive to be in this VR game, for MetaQuest. It's not like a PC VR game, and have all these people walking around and you can interact with them and stuff, and but they all look basically the same. And then you're transported to Greece or whatever. Where was the first one? The first one was in Italy. I'm sorry. You're in Italy, and then you go to Rome. You're basically playing Enzio, and then you're playing Cassandra. And the same thing, like Roman guards, like, hey, I think I heard something over there. Like, God, I mean, you didn't even try. Like, they didn't even try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
how much was it anyway?
I got it on sale for, I think, like $14.99. And if I had paid full price for it, I would be mad. I feel like I got, $15 out of it. Like sneaking around and like, assassinating my target, in VR was pretty cool. But and the game's visually stunning as far as having an iPhone and a scuba mask stuck to your face. But it's I would, if you're a diehard fan, I would recommend it, getting it on sale. I would not pay the full $30 or I think $40 for this game at all. Period. Get Dungeons of Eternity instead. It's eternity of fun. That sounded better in my head. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of VR. I did get my wife a MetaQuest 2 used, and it came in yesterday, and I set it up and I put Dungeons of Eternity on it, and we'll see what happens. I'll let everybody know next week how that went through, and if there was any nausea or vomiting involved. Anyway, but that's it. That's pretty much it. So let's get into this new stuff that is trickling, or I would say more like dripping like a leaky faucet. But the first one is Dead Rising gets a remaster, and it's going to be shown at the Capcom Showcase on July 1st, which is Monday. It's tomorrow. Did you play this game at all on the 360?
I played the Dead Rising games on the 360. They were fun.
Man, that game was fun. That game was a lot of fun. I mean, it's a fun zombie game. Like, how many zombies can I take out with all of this crap in a mall? It's getting a remaster, and also it looks like they're putting Resident Evil 7 on the iPhone 15. How scary could that possibly be if it's on an iPhone 15? I don't know. But hopefully they'll show some stuff. Maybe some new stuff. I don't know. I think this showcase is going to be filled with a lot of fighting games. But we'll see. We're going to check it out tomorrow, and then if there's anything worth talking about, then we will. But Dead Rising Remaster is kind of exciting. What was the last Dead Rising game? Was the one that launched with the Xbox One?
Actually, it had Dead Rising 4. That was the last one. Dead Rising 3 launched with the Xbox One.
Oh, that was 3? Okay. Man, I didn't even know there was a 4.
Yeah, there was a 4, which they tried to recreate 1 with 4, and it didn't work, so they didn't do too well. So they kind of just let the series die, so I guess they're trying to find their roots again with a remaster, I guess.
I didn't have as much fun with any of the other ones past that first one. And I think sometimes you don't need. Not every game has to be a series, right? It doesn't have to be like an ongoing thing. But I get it. I mean, some developers want to. They make a game. It's like, yeah, we really wanted to put all of this stuff in it, so let's put it in the second one. And
which is funny because like Dead Rising 1 had a remaster already, so it's a remaster, remake, re-release. I don't know. It's a bit more of a remake than a simple remaster. So I'm not sure. Because they did change a fair bit from graphically wise.
Yeah. So we're getting another remaster of a remaster. Well, I mean,
how that's gonna look.
Okay. Yeah. How do you feel about remasters? Do you?
I mean, I understand why remasters happen, and some remasters I really enjoy. But if it's game series I like, but if consoles, I mean, Xbox tried, but if consoles were just backwards compatible the whole time, we wouldn't need as many remasters, which is annoying. So, obviously, I think like if you get like PS2, Xbox original generation, I would like a lot of remakes or remasters from that generation.
Yeah.
But like after 360 and PS3, like, did we need remasters of those games?
Yeah, I think it's maybe a time frame thing then, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like look
I think
The Last of Us remaster, remake, remaster of a remake. Yeah, I mean, that game came out in 2013. But if you take a game like Star Wars Dark Forces that they did a remake of this year, it came out, or was it this year? Yeah, it came out this year. That game came out in 95. And they did a fantastic job of the remake. Plays great on new hardware. That to me is like, that's how you do a remaster.
Yeah, that's remastering. Yeah.
Like, what if they took like the original Legend of Zelda and just kind of updated the graphics, updated the sound a little bit, made it work with new hardware. I mean, that would be great. I think that would be great. Of course, you still have to have Nintendo hardware to play it, but when you take a game that's 10 years old and you remaster it, and it's just marginally better than what you already bought, I get a little tired of that.
Yeah, that's stupid, I think.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Skyrim, it gets a pass. But, and I say that because they do add content to that, when it's not like, and I'm going to use Last of Us for an example for obvious reasons, but I don't think there's really anything added to that remaster. It's the game. There isn't. And actually, they took the multiplayer out, so you're actually losing stuff with that remaster. With Skyrim, they added stuff. They added a bunch of updates to the first one, the special edition, and then the anniversary edition came out, and it had just gobs of new content. And that's two arguments, like, well, those are mods, but it's still added value to the game. That I think is kind of how you do a remaster, in my opinion.
I mean, stuff like re-releasing like Skyrim, for example. I don't mind if they're gonna do a remaster. When like Xbox One and PS4 were out, and they did a remaster of that, because every game had a remaster basically.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to sell like remasters of remasters just to get extra money. Like, if you want to sell content, fine.
Right.
Like, add DLC, sure, but like, I don't understand, like, a remaster of a remaster. Why am I buying the same game again that doesn't look any different?
Yeah, and that's what it comes down. It's like, if it was done good, nobody complains about it. It's like, oh, this is great. Like Gears of War. Like the Gears of War remaster. Holy cow. That was like a brand new game. But it kept the same tone and look of the original game. And I thought it was a fantastic upgrade, to the point of like, why would you play the other one, right?
Yeah.
But then if it's bad, or it's just, an obvious like, oh, this is only, oh, now it's, instead of 1080p, it's 4K. Oh, but it's $70. Then when that's a bad remaster. If it's that, then everybody complains. So I think it's really just. I'm gonna chalk that up as just per remaster. Like each one, you kind of have to judge it for what it is.
Yeah, some actually do a good job at remastering, and then some don't. Some didn't even remaster the games; they were like porting over. It's like you didn't even bother. God. Yeah. You didn't even try on that.
Yeah, so, great example. Yeah, Halo Anniversary got a travesty to humankind. Halo 2 remaster, amazing, like fantastic job, done by the same company. The Saber Interactive did both of those, and I don't know what they were smoking with the first one. They ruined the game. Like you can't even play it in that version. So yeah, I think it's per case. I think it's So we'll give it that. I think so. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, it's like you can't.
Yeah.
You have to kind of judge it for its own merits, not just as a remaster.
Yeah, definitely.
So, cool. Speaking of which, Assassin's Creed is getting some remasters. Now, this is according to Men's Journal for some weird reason. 1 and 4 are being remastered for modern hardware. So this is the original Assassin's Creed, and then of course. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which is arguably everybody's favorite. Not mine, but everybody's favorite. So I think it makes sense for those two to get remastered. But again, it's like there's a lot of people that want 4 remastered, and there's a lot of people that want 1 remastered. But what's the price structure? I mean, what's the price? What are you getting with it, and what did they take out?
Yeah, I can understand 1 because that's quite an old game now.
Yeah, it was like 2007-ish. Probably.
I don't know why everyone wanted a Black Flag remaster though. It's like just play it.
Just play it on PC.
I mean, that's what I mean when there's a remaster. It's like you don't need a remaster. What they need to do. Just up the resolution and up the frame rate. That's literally all they need to do, and people would be happy.
But you can't charge that. You would have.
I know.
You have to. You have to make a new SKU to make some money off of it. I think Xbox in itself, one of the best things that they did was the FPS boost and resolution boost on some of those older games. I mean, it's practical, it's free, and it's a pro-consumer aspect to that console when they just go back and go, hey, we can just take the FPS limiter off this and it's like 60. Boom. Like takes 5 minutes and put it up and then make a patch. Yeah, and then you're good to go.
I think most of the Assassin's Creed games, apart from a few, like 60 on Xbox because of it.
Yeah, and it gave I went back and played like all the Gears of War stuff when it hit 60. I replayed all of them. Some of the Assassin's Creed stuff I replayed, like all the games that I had that were at 30 and then were boosted to 60. Oh man, just beautiful stuff. And that you can do that, but they didn't have to do that. They absolutely didn't have to do that. But they did it anyway, and they didn't charge anybody for it. So it's man, that still to this day still surprises me that they didn't find some way to monetize that or put it under Gamepass Ultimate. You get FPS boot, Yeah.
So. I know. It was just a good thing they did, and it's a shame they couldn't do it anymore, really, because it was just like that was literally just goodwill. No one was expecting it.
Yeah, they said,
and they just did some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they said that they reached their. I forgot how they worded it. It was basically like, as far as like licensing, like you have to get the okay from the people that made the game because you're changing their executable to some extent, But a lot of the games that they wanted to do, the publisher no longer existed, or the developer, or both. There's nobody to contact. Go, hey, can I do this? And if you do it anyway, then that's, then you're breaking copyright laws and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was
it's so dumb that law works like that. But
yeah. They said they had
just give us everything.
Yeah. And then there was some. They said some publishers and developers were like, no, don't touch it. And like,
wow.
Okay. You know, but
that's why these other remasters and remakes happen.
Right?
Why didn't that get backwards compatible? And it's like, oh, this is getting a remake. Oh,
exactly. That's what I was going at. I was thinking that like at the time it's like, oh, that sucks, but we don't know what games those were. But oh, look at all these remasters that we're getting. I'm sure that's probably had something to do with it. So
yeah,
but yeah, they're good if they're good. They're bad if they're bad. So Ubisoft will find a way to screw this up. I'm sure there'll be $70 games and have nothing new. Nothing added, and probably some things taken away or changed. The characters will look different. All the women will be ugly, and they'll probably race swap like all the characters, and that's probably what they mean by
modern audience
remaster for a modern audience. Right? Exactly. So I don't know. I was not a fan of Black Flag. I didn't like the main character. I didn't like the story, and I didn't like playing like 15 hours into it and then goes, hey, you need to take these guards out. I'm like, I'm on this. Oh, but you got to use this blowgun. What? Like, yeah, if you don't use the blowgun and they see you, your mission's over. Why would I? He's 3 feet away. Why would I need to use a blowgun? Those kind of like mechanics, like you have to do it this way.
I really enjoy Black Flag, but I enjoy Black Flag not as an Assassin's Creed game. It was a good pirate game.
It was.
So the whole game, I'm like, am I an assassin? Like, where's the assassin?
I know, that's so frustrating. they have talented people there, and they can make some really good games. But at the same time, it's like you're only making this an Assassin's Creed game because of the name, and you think it's it's going to sell. But anything after that, Unity. I loved Unity. A lot of people didn't like Unity. I like the character. I like the story. I love the setting. And I didn't play it at launch. It was basically unplayable at launch. But and it went back to that rooftop, hiding through crowds and stuff, kind of more of that traditional Assassin's Creed. It felt like an Assassin's Creed game. Not that I didn't like Odyssey, which I thought was great. It's a great like historical RPG, and that's what you can call it. So I think a lot of people get frustrated about that. We'll see what happens when Shadows comes out, because I think it's basically pissed off all of Japan. So great job Ubisoft. Anyway, good grief. Well, that's pretty much all the news that we have. We did have. Oh no, we got one more. Game Pass is going to Firestick, and this is kind of huge. So, you want to tell us about this?
I saw the announcement on Twitter, and it said, I think it's going to be in July.
Ooh, that soon? Wow.
Yeah. But only for like the current latest Fire Sticks, not all of them, but like the current 4K sticks.
Well, yeah,
or 4K boxes,
I would guess
whatever.
So. Yeah, I mean, I have one like sitting in a drawer that's like it's probably 10 years old. I wouldn't expect it to to work on that. I'm sure there's probably some people that do, but no, that's old technology.
But yeah, it's another avenue to access Game Pass.
Yeah, that's.
I'm surprised. Like, not every smart TV just has an app at this point. But
well, yeah, there is some hardware involved. What was that, like a couple years ago? They wanted to put out their own device, just a cloud device.
Yeah.
And they basically said they couldn't hit that $99 price point. They couldn't make it cheap enough to warrant putting it on the market. And I did read that the sticks that you need that are capable of doing this are about $50-$60, which is not bad.
Yeah.
But with that, you're getting the Fire Stick stuff. It looks to me like you're right. Like, how many TVs are out there now that are not smart TVs and that actually need a Fire Stick? I mean, 10 years ago, the only reason to get a Fire Stick was that you could jailbreak it and like watch anything from any country or whatever, But now, I'm it's a very symbiotic piece of hardware, because you've got, okay, I don't really need a Fire Stick, but if I get a Fire Stick, I can play Xbox on the cloud on that TV upstairs, without taking the Xbox and taking it upstairs or whatever, or streaming through, the network and only playing like 1 or 2 games. So, this is really smart. I don't know how this is going to sell though, but I guess it's kind of a way for them to go, okay, well, we can put it with the Fire Stick. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, we didn't put any hardware out there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So no console needed to play games.
Yeah.
This is where
I still think cloud's in its infancy very much, but we'll see how it goes. So they are getting more cloud users on it. I find it really funny though that if you look at Sony and Microsoft, their strategy is completely bipolar. They're very much opposite to each other. Sony want you to get a PS5.
No matter what. You have to get one. Yeah.
You have to get a PS5. If you want a Portal to stream, you have to have a PS5.
Right. You want to do VR, you got to have a PS5.
But then it's like Microsoft's like, oh yeah, you can stream on a Fire Stick. We don't really care.
Yeah.
If you want an Xbox or a PC later, fine. But here, stream on your phone, stream on a Fire Stick, stream on your just anything almost.
Like anything with a screen, like your refrigerator.
If you want an Xbox later, the Xbox is there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's wherever you go. And this is that forward thinking that I talk about with Microsoft. They do step on rakes. They do screw up, and they make bad decisions. But they're making decisions. They're doing stuff. They're doing stuff like this. They're constantly trying to grow that market, because it is stagnant. I mean, there's only so many people that play games, and some of those people are, a little up there in age, and the younger generations they don't care about consoles. Yeah, they're playing Fortnite on a phone, man. They don't give a shit about PlayStation 5. They don't care.
I think it was like Sean Layden, maybe. I think it was one of the ex-Sony. Might be Sean Layden. He said like consoles are in an existential crisis because they don't sell more consoles. It's always the same number of consoles that come out. Right. Because the consoles don't grow because
it's the same people buying them. Exactly.
Same people buying them, and it doesn't actually grow as a whole.
Right.
And now, as he said, like kids are going to be on their phones instead these days.
Yeah. He's the one that also said, this is not, that AAA gaming from Sony, this like just banger after banger after banger, it's not sustainable. Even though I think he was the one that pushed it. It's like, oh, this is what. Well, I mean, Uncharted 3 made how much money?
Yeah. I mean, when the game makes money, it makes money.
Well, I think, I think his point was
GTA, for example.
Right.
Some make crazy money, but you can't have that $300 million budget for every single game that you do.
Right, because it's only selling 10 million copies. They're only selling like 10 to 11 million copies each game. Why? Because the same people are buying them. And that's it. Like Spider-Man 2 was like, what, $360-something million? And it sold how many? Like I think close to 12 million or?
I don't know. I think it might have sold like plus 10 million, but Spider-Man, it should do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but like say you made, I'm not going to do the math right now, but say you made $100 million off of it. That's to run a company. That's if that's the only game you put out that year, then that's supposed to pay for everything. No, man, it ain't like that. And that's what he was talking about. It's like you can do that game, but you also have to do this stuff. Sony has so many IPs that they're sitting on, just like Microsoft. That would, if they made smaller games with smaller studios with those IPs. Who wouldn't want like a Halo spinoff by a smaller company? Just a 10-hour campaign. That's it. Just a 10-hour campaign in the Halo universe. Or take another studio at Sony, a smaller studio, make a Killzone game. Make a Killzone multiplayer game. An extraction shooter in the Killzone universe. Like you could take 20 people and make that game. Like why don't they do that? You know, at that $30 game, if it sells 20 million fucking copies, then you are making money, you know. But it's frustrating to see Sony so pent up on, and especially that it's, you know, hey, if you want God of War 3 or whatever and you're on PC, you're going to have to wait a year because, you know, and you know, PC side, of course, is like, I'll wait or I won't buy it.
All right, well, wait then.
Or I'll steal it. It's like, oh, so you want people to pirate your game? Okay, got it. They're just so connected, you know. I always feel it's like, let them eat cake. That should be the Microsoft and Sony's and Nintendo's logo or motto. Anyway, the Fire Stick is a great idea. It's beneficial for both Amazon to sell more hardware and Gamepass to reach people that may want it or not, you know, have it currently. We'll see.
I think there's another reason as well. Like, if Microsoft want to buy more publishers or more studios in the future, they are being very open and very transparent right now. Like, hey, look, we're not even like trying to lock you into a box, lock you on one system.
Right.
We're bringing games to PS5. We're bringing games to PC. We're bringing games everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you can't argue that, oh, they're going to lock everything to exclusively on Xbox only, because they don't. So
yeah, and again, it's a forward way of thinking to just the idea is to reach more people with your product, and if that product is a Fire Stick or, you know, a Samsung TV with Game Pass built into it, then you've done it. If you get $10 out of that person a month, or hopefully 15, you know, $15 a month from someone is way more valuable to them than selling a piece of hardware to them that they lose money on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not rocket science. If I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. I mean, it's pretty blatant. They're finding new ways to make money off of this, and Sony is still being, I don't know, stubborn.
We're market leader.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to sit on anything right now. So it's like, we're market leader, is selling, and
I tell you, this PS5 Pro that supposedly comes out this year, hey, it's you know, we're hours away from July. This should have been announced in the spring.
I mean, they didn't have to. That's the thing. I wouldn't expect Sony to breathe a word until September.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's why. Why would you not want to go ahead and start generating that hype early? Get pre-orders in early.
I mean, you can, but this isn't like the last generation of consoles. Because you look at the PS4 and Xbox One, they were underpowered, especially the Xbox One. People are still buying PS5s. People still haven't upgraded to a PS5.
Yeah, I still have PS4s. Yeah, 47% is still on PS4.
So, but the people who are buying PS5s, Sony don't want their PS5 sales to just decline for everyone maybe waiting on a PS5 Pro. So they don't have to announce anything.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, if they announce it, then what I look at though is I look at pre-orders. If say this thing is like $5.99, right? And that person still hasn't gotten a PS5, why convince them to get a $3.99 PS5 when they're willing to give you $5.99 right now for something that comes out in November?
Yeah. I don't know, because I think I'm thinking, like, if say I'm Sony, I could always like sell pre-orders. I mean, the hardcore is gonna get a PS5 Pro anyway. The first day one people, they're always gonna get the latest thing. So it's gonna sell some.
Shelf.
It's gonna sell some units either way, because people just want the latest stuff when they can. Yeah. So you get those numbers anyway. I'm thinking of, if you like release it, like sort of announce it and release it in a short time, the Pro will come out, and in theory, the PS5 might look better as a price differential. So people might go, well, there's a PS5 Pro, but I can get a PS5 cheaper. Maybe that's
yeah.
That might actually move some people to PS5 instead. Because if the PS5 Pro is like 600, 700, or whatever, I don't know what it could be, to be honest. But they might make the PS5 itself go down, because I don't think it's had a price drop since it's been out.
No, it's gone up.
So they should lower the PS5 price and then put the Pro out, and then people
they
might
won't.
go, right.
No, they won't do that. No.
Well, they won't do
but
that, but that's what I'd do.
Right. Yeah. Well, you might be onto something, though. It might be the PS5 Pro may just be hardware to stimulate the market again.
Yeah, true as well.
You know,
so they just want some extra hardware units.
Yeah. And, this generation, I think, has shown us, for one, I think that there's a larger group that really just don't give a shit about the graphics.
No.
I mean, it's cool to go, hey, look at this. This is really cool. This is nice. This is neat. But as far as like, frame rate and graphics in general, I don't think there's as many people as last gen that were like, I want to play this at 60 FPS now, and I want this to be 4K, and I want this to look better. I think Fortnite has changed that to an extent of what is acceptable and what is required for graphics in general. That's why we see a lot of games that come out that have that kind of Fortnite, animated, kind of style. Even Wayfinders. I'm looking at Wayfinders too. It just came out that has that kind of same, aesthetic to it that is easier on hardware. You can put it on you can put it on anything. You can put it on a phone if you needed to, especially if you're using like the Unreal Engine. And it's not uber realistic, and it can cater to more people, such as children. So, like somebody that's a diehard Fortnite fan, why would they buy a Pro? There's no reason. There's no reason. So,
I mean, I think that's part of it, and the other half, of course, we're still in cross-generation even now. So it's like developers don't want they don't want to limit themselves between systems, because consoles before were different. You look at the PS2 or the PS3 or the original Xbox 360 to the Xbox One.
Yeah,
they were vastly different consoles. Absolutely. These are just the consoles we have now are already a PS4 Pro and an Xbox X Pro. That's what they are, because they're just hardware upgrades.
It's like phone upgrades,
And if you're a developer, why would you limit yourself to half that user base? Because if you can just get it running on the old system anyway, you just lower graphics.
Yeah, and that's easily done in most games. Apparently, we're seeing, like with the Xbox Series S, that it is giving some developers. It's not that they can't do it; it's that Microsoft has requirements of parity. Yeah. And to get parity is difficult. And it's, again, like you said about previous consoles, that's that, hey, look at this game that you can play on this new hardware. Look at this particular game that you can play on this particular hardware. You're not going to play this on what you have at home right now. You're going to have to go to a store and buy this new hardware to play that game, because that game looks amazing. And that's how you sold consoles then. That's why exclusivity was king. The difference now is that game doesn't matter. That game is, you already have it, and it's on your digital library, and it's already on your console. And when you buy a new console, you want that game to be able to be played on that new hardware just a little better.
Yeah.
And that changed everything. And that's what Microsoft did. And for better or for worse, but taking your games that you've got on that Xbox One and going to Xbox One X and going to Xbox Series X and then going to whatever's next, that's your ecosystem now.
Yeah,
definitely.
There's
not games that go, look at this game that you're going to be able to play on the, there's games that you're gonna need that new hardware to play some of the new games, but anything else you're going forward. Nobody wants to drop their entire digital library to buy a new console. Sony still thinks in that way. They absolutely do. They think that it's like, oh, well, you need to move forward with this. And that's what they need to rethink. And I was hoping with this new leadership that they would start thinking in that more forward digital landscape. Physical games are going away. With those physical games comes exclusivity, and with those physical games comes, having this stack of games goes with this console, and this stack of games goes with that console. It's gone. That's over. Yeah. And we need to get past. We need to realize it and get past it, and start looking at. I mean, good grief, man! It's 2024. We should have like rooms in our houses now that are like what's that Star Trek, the holodeck or whatever. You just like type something in. You know what I'm saying? And it's this mentality that keeps us from getting there and getting to that point. And the whole marketing and capitalizing on, console warring and all that crap that really just keeps gaming stagnant. I just wish we could get past. Not that I feel like we should need one device that plays everything. There's no competition there, but just technology wise in general. So anyway, all right.
Yeah, that was the other thing as well. This just happened as well. Sony are cutting 250 jobs from its recordable media business, key manufacturing hub.
Yes, CDs.
Amid a decline of traditional storage formats and CDs and Blu-rays.
Yep.
So yeah, physical is just going away.
Nobody's buying it. Everybody keeps blaming Microsoft, and for some reason,
and Gamepass,
it's
because it's everyone.
It's people. Everywhere. Yeah, I mean, why have a stack of movies when you've got Netflix? I mean. I still have physical movies. I have movies of like my top favorite movies. I also have.
I would like to keep movies. I like to keep movies because,
you just don't know.
Yeah,
like what's going to happen.
That's more ownership than the game will ever do these days. So at least you own a movie.
Well, it's not just that. Keep this like look at this. And I know this is like I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, but I have. On Blu-ray, I have Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And of course, they're the new cut, which I'd rather have the theatrical cut, but Lucas, threw it away. I have those, and I'm keeping those, and I rip them to my hard drive because Disney may eventually just like retcon those and just you can't watch them anymore. Yeah. There's like, man, we're not. No, this is Lucas stuff. You don't want that. This is the new stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I know that's still. I mean, I'm like cloud, but no, you just never know. But I've got some of my favorite movies on disc, just in case, just to kind of have them. I don't have the huge stack anymore, but at the same time, anything I want to watch. I thought of an old movie the other day, and I'm like, God, I haven't watched that movie in years. And then you go and you do your streaming. Scan, and there it is, and you're watching it. Boom, just like that. You didn't have to go anywhere. You didn't have to do anything. It's the convenience of that, especially with games. Who the hell wants to get up out of their chair and walk across the room and open a disc, take it out, put it in a box, take another box, open it up, take it? I mean, I could be in the game before I even described what I was doing. Like, who wants to do that? And it's not so much convenience. It's just that's the way games work now. Yeah. Oh, man. It's crazy.
I kind of feel like that's kind of ruined me as a gamer, though, as well, at the same time. Because I can't keep my focus on one game like I used to. Because when you did have that one system, it was one game. You couldn't just... replace the game.
Oh my God!
Take the disc out, put it back in, and
how many times do you sitting there playing a game? It's like I'd really rather be playing this other game, but I don't want to get up and take this disc out and put in that other game.
So
you just
had
keep
to play
playing
the game,
right?
You had to finish it. Now it's like I'm bored.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't want to get up and put the disc. God dang. Yeah, that's, well, anyway. Okay, well, let's tie this up with our last story, which is kind of goofy. This is gaming related. It's not really consumer related, but everybody's talking about it, and I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit. This is what's going down. Okay, so in 2002, Dr. Disrespect, the famous, streamer, Herschel Guy Beam IV, who, by the way, is worth $10 million. He was banned from Twitch, and reasons unknown. And now we know it was messaging a minor using the Twitch Whisper, which is like their internal messaging system. The Twitch employee that came forth and still alleged, he assumes his ban was from the result of him sexting with a minor. So that's what happened with Dr. Disrespect. So basically, he's texting this minor inappropriate stuff. And this guy came out about it. And he said, I read a quote from him somewhere. I couldn't go back and find it. But he basically said that he couldn't do it anymore. It was like his job was to go through all these messages and make sure that, everything's on the up and up, and just the stuff that he had to read and report was just god awful. So I can't imagine what else, some of these streamers are doing. But let's go into a little bit further. According to PC Gamer, Dr. Disrespect has made statements that he did nothing wrong, was just talking, quote, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more, unquote. Never said he never said he didn't know that person was a minor, and later edited his tweet where he took the word minor out of his, hey, this is what's going on, tweet. Probably from the advice of his lawyer. That's my take. So he's pretty much done. He has married with a child for now. He's probably going to get prescribe himself a hefty dose of alimony and a shot of one-bedroom apartment very soon. But this is what happens when things like this come out. He lost his job at Midnight Society, which he was working on a game called Dead Drop. I think he founded that studio as well.
His company.
Yeah. The San Francisco 49ers affiliation. Removal from NBA 2K24. They're patching him out of the game. I didn't know he was in the game, but
I didn't either.
I don't know where he was in that. Maybe just a commentary or something. I don't know. Turtle Beach dropped him, which, holy shit. I mean, you've got to set an orphanage on fire for Turtle Beach to drop you. YouTube is demonetized his whole channel. Black Street Bourbon, which is a bourbon brewery where which he founded, is the website is temporary offline. Probably as they scrub his imagery from all of the stuff, along with Dr. Disrespect Champions Club merchandise site, which is also, they're probably scrubbing like everything off. I don't know what could not be on there, but so this is going to be ongoing. This is my take on this. He probably did do that. He's not saying he didn't, and of course he's apologizing for it. But I think, and the reason I bring this up is I think this is going to be the tip of an iceberg. I really do. I think that this is going to go deeper and deeper, and I think some of this stuff is going to start coming out about Twitch, about some of the streamers. This
is going to be like friggin'
it's like Watergate.
And like gaming's Epstein's Island or
right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think that maybe this is, these high profile streamers that, especially the ones that get in trouble every once in a while,
I mean, he already did anyway. He cheated on his wife. He did some pranks.
Yeah.
I don't like streamers anyway. I don't watch the people, but
I don't like those. I don't watch those guys.
I don't like a lot of influencers anyway, because it's all chasing for clout most of the time, and it's like, no, you're being an idiot, but people watch it.
Yeah, I like the other people. There's people on Twitch that are like, they don't have many viewers, and they just like, hey, here's my favorite game, and they just like to talk about their favorite game. And what's a better way to like chat with people about the game you're playing than Twitch? But yeah, but the top ones, the main ones, they're just they become celebrities, and then they just I don't know.
Yeah.
It always just makes me wonder. This is why I don't listen to celebrities politically or about anything, because they're not like us. They're really not. I mean, they're just a different way of thinking because of it's just
because of fame and money.
Yeah, it's just narcissism, and it's. I'm sure it's hard to
I think the biggest question is right now is with Twitch, like if this happened and as bad as it sounds, well, I mean they're trying to cancel him now anyway. But if as bad as it sounds as what he said, then why wasn't that come out sooner? Like why wait this long? Why wait this long? Even if other people did it, like you should. I don't know. It should be pretty clear when he was banned in the first place.
Well, it also, yeah, and why? Okay, so like this comes out like I don't know when it actually came. So say it came out on Tuesday. Wednesday, he lost his job. Like this came out, bam, you're out of here. And that discussion, they brought him in. It's like, look, this is whether this is true or not, we don't give a shit. It's the stink's on you. You got to get as far away from us as possible. And that's what it is. And let's say for just a second, and this is kind of why I brought this up. What if he didn't do that? What if this guy just had a beef with Dr. Disrespect and he made the shit up?
Yeah.
And this guy lost everything.
Yeah. Which could be possible.
Well, however, he came out and admitted it like a dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's not smart.
Say for example, like he didn't mean anything by it.
Right.
I mean, that still looks shady. But even if he didn't come out and admit it, the fact that everybody dropped him at once, they knew what was going on. They can see behind the scenes.
Yeah, you kind of see
a lot more than we do.
You kind of think that it's like this was just an excuse, or this was, it's I don't know. There's a lot of factors there. There's way more, and what's minimal, like on everybody's mind, and all these companies and everybody that's like throwing him out, that he admitted to it. So it's like you're sexting a minor, knowing that person is a minor. Like somebody should be looking into you. Somebody should be investigating you. Like, if you were willing to do that on the phone, what else are you doing?
Yeah. And I find it really funny as well, because when it comes to discussions of like talking to underage people, I couldn't find the age of this alleged minor because the ages were all over the place.
Right.
Some reports said 15, some reports said 17.
Oh, you won't. There's probably no way to know.
So
I mean, there's
probably.
I heard that it was the Twitch employee that was actually trying to lure him into saying something so that they could get rid of him or some shit like that. I'm like, why would they do that? They could just fire him if they wanted to. That's why would they do that? Yeah. All this stuff. There's a lot of rumors right now that are going around.
I mean, I can't find myself really feeling sympathetic to the guy if he did all this, because he's a millionaire anyway, so not like I care.
Yeah,
so
really. It's like,
I mean, regardless, he's got enough.
Hope he invested properly.
Settle himself if he was smart about it.
Well, let's be honest. That his wife is going to benefit from most of that probably here pretty
True,
soon.
yeah. Yeah, hide your money. Your wife's going to come for it.
Yeah, a married couple could probably get over, like, someone cheating. Sexting a minor that's on a whole different.
Yeah, that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, that's you got a problem. But yeah, it might not be anything. It might be this is done, and everybody goes about their business. But I think that's maybe partly of a little bit of an iceberg.
Yeah, I think. Twitch is. Twitch itself is normally in hot water and a lot of stuff. I think they're going to be with this. It's like.
Yeah, did you know how much did you know? When did you know? They did. I'd read somewhere that they did report him to child services or whatever the branch of that government is. They did report him, and there was a file that this report was filed and so on and so forth. But apparently, I guess they couldn't do anything, or they couldn't because nothing went past that point. I don't know what the stipulations are on that. I don't think, we could probably look it up, but it's probably per state or I don't know, But yeah, he is right. There's no legal action taken. He wasn't arrested. He wasn't brought up on charges. He wasn't anything. But at the same time, though, I think that warrants, especially if you have that much money, what, I don't know. Let's hope that this is the end of it and the drop of it, and they don't find more things out about him.
Yeah, well,
let me say there's nothing more about this. Let me reiterate that.
I think they'll find more stuff about him.
Wipe
your hard drive.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, then if you get the FBI involved, and then it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. Yeah, we're gonna need all your computers. We're gonna need all, So we'll see. I don't know. This could be a Jared from Subway kind of thing. So it's I wish we had something a little more positive to leave the show on. But hopefully next week, maybe Capcom will blow something out of the water, and we'll get to talk about that next week because that comes up tomorrow. So, but yeah, rest in peace, Dr. Disrespect. We probably won't be seeing him doing anything but packing his bags for quite some time. Not that I'm gonna miss him. But I'm really not a fan.
I think he just disrespected the industry. So
he did. You disrespected a minor. All right, that's our show. Have a great week, everybody.